Here's a filter test of the idea of blindfold vision. Now the setup looks somewhat like this. In this experiment, we have one participant, S. S had a multi-week training in blindfold vision, and at least as judged by the instructors, he performed very well, meaning he demonstrated the ability to read and view what was in front of him despite being blindfolded. Now, during the experiment, the child will be wearing the very same blindfold mask used in training, which was the mask suggested by the instructors. Now, as shown here, the child is sitting in front of a computer, which is also the same setting in which he learned this technique, so it is a familiar situation for him in terms of blindfold vision. Now, in between the child and a computer screen, I am holding a filter, in fact, two filters overlaid one on top of the other, a red one and a light blue one. And finally, as you will see, the child will be shown 4 different screens, and each is displaying somewhere between 11 to 13 characters. Now, crucially, the screen background and the color of the characters are such that some of the letters remain clearly visible even when seen through the filter, and I'm going to call these high contrast letters, whereas others become very faint, and I'll call these low contrast letters. Now, to give an example, this is what you would see if you were looking at the screen shown to the right through the filters. As you can see, some of the letters are high contrast and remain very clearly legible. On the other hand, the remaining ones are now very faint, in fact, barely visible. And do not mind the diagonal bands that you see here close to the corners. Those are just an artifact of me taking the picture of a screen with a digital camera. Now, why this experiment? Well, the expectation is the following. If blindfold vision is not mediated by conventional vision mechanisms, by which I mean photons striking photoreceptors and initiating an electrochemical cascade that has been very well characterized in the human brain, then the child should be able to report seeing both the high contrast and the low contrast letters, meaning it doesn't quite matter that there's a filter. The child should be able to view the letters regardless. Conversely, if blindfold vision is mediated by conventional mechanism, then the child should be able to report the high contrast letters no problem, but should perform much worse for the low contrast letters. So let's see what happened.
Okay, so tell me, what do you see?
It's screen's red. I see C, D, R, V, and T.
Okay, very good. Here's another one. What do you see now?
D, K, W. Oh, wait, that's strange.
Okay.
Wait, the screen's red too. So there's an eye who's white, and you
Okay.
covered it. There's so
It's okay.
B, W, K,
Just tell me.
E, N, and before there was an I.
How about now? What letters do you see?
B or C, O, I, A, E.
Very good. Do you see any other letter?
Wait, if you can move the.
No. No, you have to.
Okay, then.
Maybe it's okay. No, if you don't see it, it's okay. How about now? Another one? How about now?
B, R, C, V, G, N, P.
Okay, very good.
So what were the results? Well, as you've probably seen, S managed to detect with no problem 24 out of 24 of the high contrast letters, but only saw 1 out of 24 of the low contrast letters. Now, this behavior is perfectly in line with the idea that blindfold vision is actually just happening through conventional photon and retina-based processes, as if S were seeing from under or below the blindfold, and not some other non-retina-based process. So in all, I would also say that it is hard to then reconcile these data with the claim that this same strategy can be used to see things remotely, as they say. So to view things that might not be in one's field of view, maybe are behind them in a different room, or maybe in an entirely different location, maybe a different city or a different country.